Hello and welcome to another episode of CSGO In Depth. Today we're talking about the MP7. Now, the MP7 is SMG for both teams that is actually on the more pricier side of things with a $1,700 price tag, and it holds 30 rounds and is fully automatic. It's also one of my favorite weapons in the entire game. It is actually a lot of fun to use, and I enjoy using it in competitive game modes. Now, with 30 rounds in the magazine and 120 rounds in the reserve, you have a total of 5 full clips to fire with this weapon. It does give you $600 per kill in competitive and $300 in casual, which is actually a lot of money, especially if you can keep this gun for a few rounds. The movement speed is solid with 220 out of 250 units per second, which means okay, but it's not like it's going to replace a knife, right? You still walk a little bit slower, and it's going to take a little bit longer to get to the other objective, right? Now, the reload time on this weapon is 3.1 seconds, which is a little bit faster than the P90, and it's a little bit slower than some pistols. It's kind of falls in between there. Now, let's talk about the damage affecting stats, right? The recoil is 22 out of 26, aka 86%, with an accurate range of 20 meters. Now, this is a longer range SMG with that 20 meters, right? Most SMGs can only get around, 15, and they may max out at 20. Now, this is an accurate range of 20 meters, which means it can get probably closer to 30 if you're really stretching that distance. Now, the fire rate is 720 RPM, which is very, very fast. It's like spitting fire almost, and the armor penetration is 62.5%, and that makes it good enough to use in later rounds, at least for the most part, if you can aim high, and you'll see what I mean when we get to the damage here in a second. Now, the penetration is just a straight 100. That means it's going to go through objects, and it's not actually going to affect your damage. Now, the damage will be split up into armored and unarmored, right? So if you are attacking an unarmored opponent, you will deal exactly 118 to the head, 28 to the chest, 35 to the stomach, and 21 to the legs. Now, obviously, one-shot headshot is nice, but it is common for most weapons, especially with no armor. Even if you're not aiming for the head, you can still kill in 3 to 5 bullets, which is acceptable. If you're attacking an armored opponent, you will deal 71 to the head, 17 to the chest, 22 to the stomach, and 21 to the legs. Now, this is where the gun struggles just a little bit, especially when you get below that chest range. And what I mean by that is that there's a 1 damage difference between the stomach and the legs. And if you can hit someone in the neck or the stomach, would be perfect. But the chest is really a low damage center for this weapon on later rounds when people have armor. Overall, I think this is a great weapon if used in the right way. It's close quarter situations and in tunnels, in things like dust, right? And I'm sorry this has been a very fast episode, but this is a very straightforward weapon, right? This doesn't have a whole lot of quirky stuff like the R8 does, for instance. So with that, my name has been Z-Star, and I'll see you guys in the next video.